CLG.eu, Leona, Graves, Oriana, Alistar, and Olaf. If you look at the matchup, it's probably going to be Oriana versus Karthus mid. It's going to be um, Frogger's going to be jungling Alistar. I guess they don't want to deal with the Ali Jax combo. You saw how painful it is against Wicked up top when he was playing Kennen. You see the lightning rush from Kennen. The moment he starts lightning rush, you see the headbutt to knock him back, waste and burn that lightning rush duration. And so, he's gonna come out moving really, really slow, and Jackson be able to catch up with the leap strike, counter strike. And between the two stuns from Alistar and Jax and the headbutt to hold them in place, it's about 5 seconds that no, closer to about 4 seconds that Kennen was just standing in one place, and really at the same time, just the headbutt pulverize, a couple of right clicks, and leap strike and power counter strike. That's gonna be able to burst Kennen for about like 800-900 damage. So at any point, if Kennen isn't full hit point, he's open for hunting season. So they didn't want to see that happen again. So they actually picked up Alistar. Like, hey, that was really, really dangerous. I don't want to deal with that. So moving on, there is going to be Wicked top. He's going to be playing Olaf versus, I think, which is Jax actually. Olaf should be able to handle Jax. I'd say it's a pretty even matchup until either of them gets chunked a little bit. Olaf definitely does a little bit better mid game. Say about once it hits a 5 minute mark, Olaf should be able to beat Jax. If Olaf isn't able to kill Jax and let it get to about 20-25 minutes when Jax starts getting some massive lifesteal, Jax is going to be able to just jump onto Olaf and just right click him down and just beat him with the lifesteal. So it's going to go as follow. Olaf's going to win before, and Jax is going to get to the point where he can start winning as well. And bottom lane is going to be Leona Graves versus Kog'Maw Janna. Leona Graves is, I honestly believe Leona Graves is going to be able to beat Kog'Maw Janna, but, same deal. Navi is trying to play for late game, so if it gets to late game, Navi has a really, really good chance of just sticking it to CLG. Just really, really quick before the game starts, I still have about a good 30 seconds delay, so I'm going to play a couple of ads. These ads are going to support solo mid and future solo mid tournaments. So just stick around, and you're not going to miss out much. It's just going to be the loading screen.
Lots of important skins on the loading screen. I'm really scared by Citizens Wayne's Karthus. Not gonna lie. We've already seen how strong he is in the earlier tournaments, and then up against his Ziggs, which was phenomenal just now. His Karthus is, some would argue, stronger than his Ziggs. Let's see how Froggen can handle it. He switch Oriana skin every game.
So game 2 is underway. CLG is on the blue side. Navi is on the purple side again, because the loser has the choice of sides, and CLG opted for blue side again. So you do see pings coming out from Navi is going over to the river, and what they want to do is, if they don't want to get invaded on, they're just going to stand post against all the chokes, and so they're just splitting up. They're going to get all the points covered, so CLG cannot go in and sneak a quick gank. So you have Kog'Maw standing post down at bottom river. Karthus is going to stand near mid river, and Jax is going to stand post on top. So they're just spreading out, getting all the point of contacts covered, and making sure that CLG.eu is not going to just come in and try and find somebody and just kill somebody really quick. You got to watch out for that Leona stun, followed by, or it could go vice versa. The Ali flash pulverize, followed by a Zenith blade by Leona. So it's very, very scary for Navi at the beginning. They definitely don't want to look for a fight, because CLG.eu does have a definite level 1 advantage.
And they are looking to use it as well. Yeah, strolling around the map.
Navi. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say, no. When you start a game, you look at the enemy's composition. You look at it. You can generally tell if they have a strong invade comp or not. And if they have one that's just significantly stronger than yours, and you feel you have no way to win, you just spread out the beginning, and then you ward river and you stand post. And that ensures that they're not going to be able to come over undetected and try and just do something really sneaky.
So, Golem start then for Pete and Creepo, and Sand and Antigen are going to do the walls themselves. So, I think the Golems give us slightly a little bit more XP.
It gives about maybe 15-20% more EXP, but it's not so much that they're going to fall behind in bottom lane. It's not going to be like if bottom lane takes double golems and the other side doesn't take anything, bottom lane's going to hit level 2 in about a wave and a half. And so they're not going to miss out on too much in terms of EXP difference. So Lee Sin is camping top. He's looking for that gank. You know, he has a lot of success ganking Wicked in the past, so he probably thinks, alright, Wicked isn't too hard to gank. Let's try and keep this pressure up, especially since Jax does snowball against Olaf. And if he doesn't get that early game advantage, he's going to start losing, and Wicked's going to be able to start beating him within the next couple of minutes, actually.
Frogger was looking to try and get something off into that mid lane, but unfortunately he walked straight across a ward, and because of that, Cottonex is actually looking to come and find him. He does spot him as he heads around towards the walls. Gonna let him pull it, get the aggro, take a little of extra damage. The Q comes through the wall, will land. Frogger's being chased out, does get a headbutt on. He's gonna go down, won't actually land on Frogger for the slow. Does smite away that big wall. Right, Cottonex is annoying, yes, and he's taking a bit of health off Frogger, but nothing too serious. That's that smite on cooldown, and the red buff is not dead, so let's see whether Cottonex tries to come around and do anything while he kills that, because obviously he knows Alice has not got it, he's not killed it, he can see that no one is carrying that buff. So, we'll see. This depends on how his mid fares up. You cannot risk an invade like that when your mid lane is pushed and losing, because you will have no kind of support if their mid lane comes to protect. Yeah, 2v1 situation.
So basically bottom lane is farming at tower. Just a lot of threat and pressure from Leona Graves. At any point, if they get a good combo with Zenith Blade and the Shield of Daybreak, I think. Is that the Q? Yeah, Shield of Daybreak off on any of them. They're going to be able to output a lot of damage. So Kog'Maw Janna is just going to be playing really, really safe right now. They just want to farm and stay under tower and just not overextend. The moment they overextend, they're going to be susceptible to getting ganked. Because you calculate all the damage that Leona Graves is going to be able to do. That's going to be 3 passive procs from Leona when she hits level 6. And Graves is going to be able to dash, right click, buckshot, snow bomb, and did I say snow bomb? I mean smoke bomb.
Yeah.
Smoke bomb and use his ultimate and ricochet into a lot of people and doing a lot of damage. So something you gotta watch out for is the moment Graves and Leona hits level 6. It's very, very dangerous for bottom lane.
There's Alistair doing his red buff, but Cottonex is doing his blue buff. So he's not going to worry too much about that, and he will take this first one as well. There is, well, it's not uncommon to see junglers possibly give that to a Karthus, and we've seen a couple of teams give Karthus their blue buff at level 1, i.e. the very first spawn, if they needed it. But Citizen's happy letting Cottonex to get those extra levels up. Lee Sin being really strong in these early game time zones, if you like. Will only benefit more from quick leveling. But let's see how he plays it out. We're still obviously waiting for this first blood, and Frogger is looking to try and make it happen in the bottom lane. He's here with a red buff hiding in the river, and he's really quite tanky already. All he's got is a ruby crystal, and he's up to 1200 health.
At this point, if Kog'Maw is at any point pushed past mid river, he's just really susceptible to getting killed because he's going to get stunned by Leona, and if Alistar is in the neighborhood too, she's just a lot of CCs and a lot of damage is going to be dished out. So Kog'Maw is just playing really, really safe. Same with Karthus. If she or he pushes a little bit too far, that Alistar is going to be able to just knock him into Orion, or he's going to be able to burst a lot of damage too. So for CLG, there's just a lot of kill lanes. You know, it doesn't matter what lane Alistar ganks. He's going to be able to convert a kill if the other team is not careful.
He does get through that. That's a surprisingly large amount of missed lay waste coming out of Citizen Wayne there. Very good. Duping him backwards and forwards, getting him a little bit itchy on the trigger finger. ultimately. Nothing too much really came from it. Cosmic showed up just at the right time to reveal the Alistar. But Nezreal, wow, that true damage ripping through the health bar. Wicked is now 6. Nezreal not quite the same for a couple more creeps. And there it is. He is now 6. Wicked going to back away. Nezreal actually goes looking for him straight away. Wicked sees that happening and runs all the way back to the tower. I actually got the whole sound clip for the recall animation there as I followed Wicked back down the lane.
So basically top lane, Wicked is ahead right now, even though his CS isn't showing that because he got harassed early on. He was missing out on some CS, but a good way of telling that he's ahead is even when Jax went back and bot and he was still at his boots, he was beating Jax in lane. So as soon as Olaf gets back in lane, you're going to be able to see a lot more aggression, a lot more harassing to prevent Jax from farming.
Gold a lot closer now. 7.5 minutes in the last game. We already had quite a few kills on the board for Na'Vi. So CLG handling this a little bit better. Let's see if they can carry it through to the late game. Fallback pings go out onto Carpus in the mid lane as they spot Alistar. Again, in this really well placed ward. They are really not letting him get close to this mid lane. Playing that perfectly. How is bot lane shaping up then? This Leona Graves combo. Leona not quite 6 yet, about half a level off, couple more waves of minions. But then as you mentioned earlier, not only is the burst damage she's got amplified, she gets another massive stun, which we've already seen Creepo use many a time throughout this tournament to devastating effects. So let's watch how Antigen Sand play out. Sand on Janna, really good counter to Leona if I'm honest, because if you can land that tornado perfectly, halfway through the Zenith Blade, she stops.
Yeah.
She will not be on top of it. And it doesn't matter if they can keep you stunned at range with their ultimate. If they cannot get close enough thanks to a knock back or a knock up, they're not going to be doing any damage. So if Sand plays it perfectly, he'll be able to protect Antigen all day long.
Yeah, it's all about timing that tornado, you know. Janna is definitely a really good pickup against Alistar and Leona. He's got a double knockback with the tornado and with the ultimate. And it does prevent the Alistar headbutt pulverize and the Leona Zenith Blade, so just a well-timed Janna play can definitely foil a lot of CLG's engaged potential.
Did just get a flash forced from Froggen in the mid lane, thanks to Cosmix ganking in there, and they actually also spotted Alistar in the top lane. Cosmo went to check the red buff, not quite there yet. He got about another minute, I think, on the respawn, but he will take down the big Wraith and make his way out. Doesn't quite land that Q. Froggen centimeters away from the tip, but we do have Nezreal coming down from the top lane, and it looks like Na'Vi want to take themselves a relatively quick dragon. I mean, Cotonex on Lee Sin.
This is very dangerous for Na'Vi because Orianna has blue buff and Karthus is low on mana. I don't know if they can kill this fast enough before they get there's an engage happening, so this is very, very dangerous. Even though it's 4v5, the killing potential and or damage potential isn't there for Na'Vi because Karthus is low on mana and Olaf was really, really close, and you're taking Dragon at the same time, so you're losing HP. So in terms of Dragon, the only way they're going to get that is if CLG had no idea they're doing it and it goes uncontested. Otherwise, if a team fight does break out, it's just heavily, heavily disadvantaged for Na'Vi right there. So it's just really good that they recognized that they couldn't do Dragon and just backed out.
Really good disengage, getting away from that with plenty of time to spare. And nothing coming out of Creeper, who is now 6. So you notice Sand and Antigen are really defensive back on the tower. In fact, I lied, they're not being defensive, they're going back down to the Dragon, which Alistar is close. Pete and Creeper are coming. Cosmonex needs to get out the tank kit. Sand was doing it first, the stun will go down. Cosmonex does hit the Dragon with a smite, and everything's frozen up. Are you there, Dan?
Yeah, sorry. I was watching as it's listening. I was trying to think about how that fight was going to go down. So basically they saw that Orianna was low HP, and it makes sense that she was going back to base, and they recognized that Orianna was in base, so it was a really, really good chance and timing for them to do Dragon. Despite the 3 people that did come and try and stop them, it's just, there's a lot of damage from Karthus, a lot of damage from Lee Sin.
bugbear, and I have a feeling I made a blue screen in a minute. This is exactly what I was getting with you yesterday.
Oh, your computer's.
But since then, I've not had this issue at all.
I was actually
Been
letting you talk for the action because I can't talk that fast. So I was like, oh, what's going on? Panky's usually talking right now. But